June babies, we have a lot to catch up on. We're more than halfway through the month of June and I haven't given you a single birthstone video yet. It's been a busy couple of months and it turns out that I can't actually make as much birthstone content this year as I'd set out to make. That's okay. Things change, we adapt, we grow, we learn, and here we are finally talking about June's 3 birthstones. Because yes, June has 3 official birthstones. June's 3 birthstones are Pearl, Moonstone, and Alexandrite, and we're actually not even going to get into the individual stones in this video. I wanted to use this opportunity to talk about why there are 3 birthstones for June. Why do we even have birthstones? Well, actually, that part I've covered. I have an entire podcast episode about the history of birthstones. If you want to know, you can look for my podcast, Ancient History Jewelry Stories, just about anywhere that podcasts can be listened to, and you can search for the episode called The Surprisingly Ancient History of Birthstones. The original American list, which is what I reference for all these videos, it's what I referenced for my birthstone book, was created in 1912. And it is pulling from some very old birthstone lists. This concept, as I said, has been around for quite a while, and it was formalized by the National Association of Jewelers, now known as the Jewelers of America. If that doesn't clue you in already to what the purpose of this list was, marketing, baby. It's all marketing. Even though birthstones are a fairly old concept, in this case, the 1912 list was created so that each month had at least one stone option that could be faceted or cut en cabochon. This is also why every once in a while, when I talk about birthstones, someone will chime in and say, but what about XYZ stone? And I'll have to say, nope, sorry, not on the official list. There are a lot of unofficial alternative birthstone options out there. The 1912 list for June included both Pearl and Moonstone. In 1952, a change was made to the list where a few different stones were added to a few different months, but for the purposes of this video, we're focusing on Alexandrite, the 3rd birthstone added for June, and frankly, the most horrifyingly expensive one this month. I haven't found any concrete information, but I do have my suspicions that Alexandrite was added to the list because lab-grown and synthetic Alexandrite was flooding the market and was cheap and readily available. I did just say it was horrifyingly expensive. That is true of natural Alexandrite. One quick note for the sake of being correct, what was being sold to people as lab-grown or synthetic Alexandrite in the 1950s was actually lab-grown color change corundum, but it was still being marketed to people as Alexandrite for the sake of buying birthstones. So June has 3 very different options. You've got Pearl, an organic gem, one of the oldest ones in use by humans. You've got Moonstone, very popular during the Victorian era, and actually very different from the rainbow moonstone that most people know of today. And you've got Alexandrite, a stone that, when it was added in the 1950s, was very much of its time because of the availability of lab-grown and synthetic versions. So to get through the rest of this month with 3 stones to talk about, I am going to devote one video to each stone, and I'm going to be posting some older videos where I've already covered interesting information or interesting examples of these birthstones.